It is. It absolutely is. And I have seen this both in my professional life and in my personal life. When I was a baby prosecutor, there were jokes that the probable cause to arrest someone would be BWB, biking while black, riding a bicycle, or WWB, walking while black. Those were jokes made by law enforcement and attorneys that were supposed to be defending the system. So I've been fighting it both as a prosecutor and then as a defense attorney, and you're absolutely right. But I've also seen it in my personal life because I am the mother of 2 biracial daughters, and I have never in my life been watched in a store like I have been since my girls turned about preteens. I have seen it with my own eyes, how people look at my daughters and make a judgment about them because of the color of their skin. So when I say I have skin in the game, I have skin in the game, both as a lawyer fighting for the rights of my clients and of the Constitution. So that means every one of us. And as a mother who has seen how the world treats her children because of the color of their skin. Go love your neighbor.
That people don't have the facts about racism. They just don't want to hear them. They have all the data, they have all the facts, they don't want them because the truth threatens their identity and their status. And that's why this work isn't just about facts. It's about fear, naming the fear. And if you're white, that's our job. White fragility is a real thing. We all have it in us. And I think if we want to push change forward, we need to be able to hold this fear it triggers and do something with it. And also equity work isn't just about holding your own fragility. It's about interrupting collapse in other white people. So other people, black people, don't have to. People of the global majority should not have to hold our fragility. We created the problem, and that means our discomfort isn't the end of the story, it's the beginning of the work.
Quite sad that even a mother can actually experience how her children is being treated. It is sad, and that's why most of the time as I ask myself questions like, do you think this race profile within can ever be eliminated? Because on a daily basis, we keep coming to see one situations or the other. And do not get me wrong, right? We're actually bringing this so that a lot of people can actually be educated about this. Anyways, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Sonia and I'm back again with another mind-blowing video. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are fine. Hope you guys are good. If it's the first time tuning in, do it, subscribe, like this video, drop me your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share for every other person to get this good news. Thank you so much for always coming to support, watch my videos. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are the best. And every videos and stitches you see in our videos, credits belongs to the original creators of this video. I stand a chance to be corrected. I'm not all that perfect. I keep saying it in my video. But the question still remains, do you think this thing called racism can actually be erased anytime soon from the US? If you think yes, let us know in the comment section. If you think no, let us know why you also said no. In any ways, let's get right into rolling out some other clips for you guys, and I will be back with commentaries.
White people, if we want racism to truly go away in America, our voices have to be some of the loudest in condemning it. If you've been paying attention at all, you know and you understand the aggressive attempt that is happening right now to whitewash our world. We've had many people with black or brown skin color removed from prominent positions within the government. We've even had their achievements removed from government websites. There's a blatant attempt to rewrite history when it comes to slavery, with some going as far as to say it wasn't that bad, or we should teach it more gently. And that's just the very tip of the iceberg. White people, do you want to live in a world that is completely void of color? Do any of you guys not hang out with people of different skin color than you? Where are your voices on their behalf? Why are things like this happening over and over again to them, and we are not screaming in enragement? And most importantly, why are we expecting them to do anything whatsoever to combat this? They didn't create this problem. People who look like us did, and people who look like us continue to perpetuate the problem. So then it's people who look like us whose voices have to be the loudest in condemning their behaviors. No, it's not okay to come after our friends who aren't white. No, it's not okay to minimize them. No, it's not okay to hurt or harm them. We are the ones with the privilege, and nothing is going to change unless we use our voices on their behalf. Nobody is better than anybody else because of the color of their skin, but our government is trying to send the opposite message. The only way to stop that is for our voices to be louder, for us to shame people for having such backwards and racist thinking, to call people out when they say the quiet parts out loud. If you're white, I don't know what you're waiting for. The time is now. I've never organized any kind of march or protest before, but it would be my absolute dream, while our black and brown brothers and sisters are at home resting, for all of us white people to be out marching on their behalf, standing in solidarity and support of their communities. I will say this on record. If anybody is in the midst of organizing something like this, please contact me. I will lend my voice however I possibly can to your cause. Right now, we have a bunch of white people that are united in their common goals of supremacy. We have to have a bunch of white people that are on the opposite side as a counter-resistance to their efforts. If racism is going to stop, we have to be the ones to stop it.
A lot of people want to actually condemn racism, a lot of white people, right? But the question is, are other white people ready to join hands together to be able to condemn it? Are they ready to make their voices loud? Are they ready to stand up to be like, no, enough is enough. We are all one. We should be treated as one. We should be treated as the same. We are all equal. We should be seen as that. And is it even possible? Do you think it is 100% possible for every single white person to decide to hit their chest and be like, I just want to stand up to this? Let me know in the comment section. Let's go ahead, roll out the remaining clips, and I'll be back with commentaries.
Exactly. I'm glad you were listening. One of the things that I can't stand in my life is how hard I have worked to curate my words. When I speak, I mean exactly what I say. I don't mean more than that. I don't mean less than that. You don't got to read in between the lines of anything I say to you. More importantly, you should never assign reasoning or meaning to something I say without asking for clarity. When I say there are no white people that aren't racist, it doesn't mean that one day I don't think we can live in an unracist society. I believe it's possible to dismantle racism, just like it's possible to dismantle the patriarchy, but not in my lifetime. Racism has existed for hundreds of years. The patriarchy has existed for thousands of years. It's going to take that much or more to undo it. If I didn't believe people could change, I wouldn't run an anti-racism book club. But you have asked no questions. I want to reiterate that having the belief that you create your own reality is a place of privilege that I do not have, that people who look like me do not have. When I get pulled over by white police officers, my belief systems don't matter. Theirs do. For everybody else, I want to recommend a few books to help clarify what I'm talking about. Nice Racism by Robin DiAngelo. It speaks to this idea that white people love to talk about spirituality, practice yoga, think Kendra, as a way to absolve themselves from doing the work of anti-racism. You keep talking about the word abuse, and I'm talking about racism. And sure, racism can be abusive, but racism is its own form of oppression. And even if we were talking about abuse, I wouldn't expect somebody in an abusive relationship to stay in that relationship in the hopes that the person is going to change. Because whether they change or not ain't got nothing to do with me. I need to be safe. As a level set, I just want to communicate. I'm not trying to convince you, okay? That's not what God sent me on this earth to do. You are welcome to believe whatever lie and delusion that you choose. That's why the first thing I said was, I'm okay that we don't agree. But you have a good night, Kayla. The rest of y'all can tell me what you think.
That's the sad part. Racism has existed for hundreds of years. Over and over, they have been preaching it. For decades, for centuries, it has been preached, it has been said, even coming from their own same race. But still, do you think that some persons will still adhere to this? Why do I need to be treated differently because I am born black? Why do I need to be treated differently because of my skin color? Why do I need to be seen differently because of how I look? It is that bad to that point. It is that bad to that point. And I just hope this can actually be creeped out of the system as fast as it can. But if this have been preached for over and over centuries, years, months, decades, until date, we are still talking about this topic, do you think it can be erased entirely? And one day, both the black race and the white race can actually see themselves as one? Let me know in the comment section. I'll come back with commentaries.
You say that all whites are racist. Can you expound on that, please?
Any white person who was born, raised, and schooled in the United States of America, if you aren't a racist, you're a miracle. Either that or you decided to educate yourself. Because education in this country is about white is right, brown's all right, black's got to stand back. Yellow's mellow, but whites, we educate in a way that says that white males have done all the adventures, have made all the adventures, have done all the discovering, have made all, everything that is good and has been accomplished according to social studies, which is actually anti-social studies, by white males. It's a lie. But we do that in order to maintain the myth of white superiority.
Jane did a really good job here. Let's talk about her point on if you're not racist, it's a miracle. If it sounds crazy to you, it's not. In the United States, we learn through a white male perspective. The history books that we read are written by white men. The media that we consume have been written by white men, is currently controlled by white men. It affects our subconscious thinking. Because Americans are forced to view the world through a white male perspective, we are consuming the white male's perspective on the truth. We're not consuming the neutral truth. Another special thing about what Jane presented here is this lack of blame. She's not blaming the average American. She's not saying, oh, hey, you're a bad person. She's simply explaining how unbelievably unlikely it would be to be American, raised in the American school system, and to not be subconsciously racist. It's just really, really, like, virtually impossible. It would be miraculous. Remember that word she used, miracle. We're raised by the white male perspective. It will still affect all of us. By acknowledging the effect, whether we're purposely racist or not, we're able to address it thoughtfully.
You can only see that it can take just mentality, just that simple act of mentality to be like, I'm educating myself as a white person. Do you hear what she said from the beginning of this video? She said any single white person that is born in America and is not a racist, it is by a miracle. Parents can start doing that and start teaching their children on time. Because most of this thing, once you give birth to a child and you cannot be able to tell that child that this thing you're doing is wrong, that child sees it as what it is right until that child gets to the age that he or she can no longer control it. Imagine you appearing in a court and you've been seen differently. You've been seen and treated differently because of your racial profile. No.
And I tell you what, nothing makes racist white people more pissed off than me, a white person, trying to educate about racism and trying to educate about what white privilege is and all these things. And it's so funny because these same people will argue with me till they are blue in the face about how they're not racist and we don't live in a racist institution and black and brown people have it so easy and racism doesn't exist anymore. But then they will turn around and say the most racist, ignorant, vile shit you've ever heard in your life. The disconnect is amazing. And this is why I make content like this, because it's so important. Because we do live in a racist institution. And we are all raised in racism as white people. This is simply a fact. And the crazy part about it is every one of us knows this. Even the ones who will sit there and fight with me to the death about it and act like it doesn't exist. Y'all know white people are racist. Y'all know about the casual racism, the casual microaggressions that we are raised in, no matter where we live in this United States of America. And this is why I will never stop. I will never stop trying to educate as a white person about racism and how we need to learn. We need to evolve. We need to do better. It's almost as if they feel like admitting to a racist institution or admitting to racism makes them this evil, terrible person. And so they would rather double down than to grow and be a good person. And that's so bad, because all that says to me is that you have a small mind and a cowardly soul. And I wish better for you than that, truly, because everything in your life will get better when you stop being so ignorant.
That is it. That's why I keep saying that some persons will be ready to learn, while some persons would never learn. You can see a normal white person trying to educate her fellow white person that this thing is not making sense. But they will argue with her. She said it with her own mouth. I did not say it. You can go and play the last clip that I played so that you can still watch and get some facts that you're looking for. It can only be better if the children that they are giving birth to now are being taught not to be doing that. But if they see it from their parents doing it, it is definitely going to pass down to them, and they are going to take charge of doing what they are not supposed to do. But is it even fair? Is it even good? Is it even what should be taught? Is it even what should be heard? Is it even what should be seen? We've seen a particular video that was actually circulated. I think I did a video about it, where this white guy, just because he felt uncomfortable with a man that is sitting on a wheelchair, I repeat, wheelchair, and the man was trying to reach out for something, and he concluded that the man was trying to reach out for pew-pew, and before you know, he brought out his pew-pew and then fired. A lot is happening that already the children mentality is being tampered with. And you know, one thing with kids, once they start growing up with something, it is hard for you to drag them out of it. So I'm happy that there are some white women, white men that can come out plainly and hit their chest and tell you that is a no-no. I can't teach my child that. I can't do that. That thing you just did is wrong. You do not need to mimic that person that way. You don't need to treat this person differently because of how they look. We are one. And the earlier we keep helping, putting our hands together as every single white Americans watching this video, or be it Black Americans, or be it any country at all that you're watching this video, the better for every single one of us in the whole of the century. I keep asking myself sometimes, I be like, what are we even fighting for? What are we even dragging? A lot of people sleep and they didn't even wake up. A lot of people just go to get something and they ended up there. A lot of people were involved in accidents and their life was just taken. Like, there is literally nothing in this life that is making all of this to happen. And I just hope a lot will be able to learn anyways. This is another educational center. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And like I said, I stand a chance to be corrected if I'm wrong. Every video and stitches you see in our videos credit belongs to the original creators of those videos. If you have not subscribed, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Let us know your opinion in the comment section. And yes, with no further ado, I do a lot of in my videos. I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye. I love you guys. Let love lead. It's very important.